Hello and welcome back to Logan Sounds Off. Today I am really excited to share a review of one of my favourite albums ever, and I discovered it half a year ago. I am still raving over this album, which is called Cave World by Viagra Boys. And if you haven't heard this, what I would recommend is before you listen to this review, stop it, pause it, download this album onto whatever streaming service and listen, because it is fantastic. It's one of the coolest albums that I've heard, and I can't say all year because it's not new. I was late to this train. When Cave World Deluxe was coming out, I still didn't know about the album. This was recommended to me by Joshua Homme, frontman of Queens of the Stone Age. If you want to check out my interview with him, links down below. Again, if you want to stream Viagra Boys, if you do know this album and you'd like to discover more, including their back catalogue releases, maybe Consistency of Energy, Call of the Wild, Common Sense, Welfare Jazz, Streetworms, it's all down there that you can visit their artist page. I have this on standard black vinyl. Really, really cool. It's a bit dusty on the front, sorry. But I do play this album a lot. Actually, I get a lot of dust on it because it's on the turntable. It's left on the turntable because I know I'm going to play it again the next day. So I do try and take good care of this album. It's very precious to me now that I got my hands on it in Tower Records. So here is your artwork. Very, very good for the album. And you've got your track list as well. So I'm really excited to get into this album. It is terrific and I've listened to it too many times. No, I've listened to this a lot. So I'm going to start off just by speaking, first of all, about the whole Viagra Boys nearly. The storyline that I am for. Streetworms is very much about, kind of has this grimy tone that's really, really interesting, a really grimy tone, but then you've got it's kind of dark and searching for something. Then you've got Welfare Jazz, which is dark at the start but grows into something brighter, where the nearly character that they're talking about, it seems like there is one, finds hope and maybe settles down. I don't know, I'm not sure what happens, but then you've got Cave World, which is kind of this realization of the social politics of the world at the moment and what it entails. So you start off with Baby Criminal, which is a terrific track, and it doesn't just kind of fade in, it just goes straight into the song. It doesn't feel like you're starting into the song midway into it or anything. It actually comes in really, really well. You have this really loud drum fill, and then you get into the song, which has this rhythmic synth and great guitar and amazing bass. And when you get into the beat, after a couple of beats, you've got Sebastian's voice, Sebastian the main singer, just really giving it loads, really. He's just pushing his voice and starting to sing the lyrics, which are incredible. I would definitely recommend reading the lyrics. And there are some very strange lyrics that Viagra Boys came out with, and I do want to share one with you from their debut album. This is their third. So this will give you an idea of the kind of lyricism that Viagra Boys have. It's awesome. So if you're like me, you're going to love it. It's just really, really cool. And there's one song by them called Just Like You. And in the song he says, Sebastian, "We had a little dog, such a little dog, but it reminded me of a large dog, but just in miniature size." And then he goes and speaks about something completely different. It's really, really funny. But you've got some really interesting lyrics on this particular song, like, I think he even took a squirrel and turned it into a hat. Like, really interesting lyrics. But the way Sebastian sings and portrays these stories, they don't sound like poetry where if they don't rhyme, they're just more stories. These don't rhyme, but they sound amazing together, the lyrics. They really link up. So Baby Criminal is really cool. And then you got Cave Hole, which is just an interlude. And you have three of these. You have Cave Hole, and then you have Globe Earth, and then you have Human Error. These are all interludes. They're very good, and although it's funny, I was actually reviewing Keep On Smiling by Two Door Cinema Club recently. If you want to watch that, the link will be down below. Check that out in previous episodes, and again, Viagra Boys links below that too. I was reviewing it, and it had an intro, but it didn't have interludes and it had an outro. This is interludes, no intro, no outro. What I found really interesting was about Tudor Cinema Club album and this as well was that although they were there and people skip past them, I think they are necessary to the album. They are very interesting and really cool and blend the tracks in really well. And then you Troglodyte, the next song, which is one of the main singles from the album, and this was performed, I think, on Jimmy Kimmel's live show as well. So this song got a lot of praise and it's terrific. It's a really good song. It's really powerful. You've got these incredible blooping synthesizers and an incredible video. Just fantastic. I love the video for this song. Really well made. And the lyricism in this is quite incredible as well. Sebastian really is an incredible lyricist, especially on the last track, which we're going to get to soon, Return to Monkey, without a Y in monkey. On Troglodyte though, you have some really cool guitars, and I wish on some of the songs in this the guitar was kind of the way it's mixed. The guitar is kind of in the back of the track in some of these, especially on like Big Boy, which is like this lo-fi, really gritty, just brilliant track that we're gonna get to soon. But Troglodyte is really, really cool in that fashion, that it has guitar in it, but it's a lot louder, which is cool. And I like seeing that. Troglodyte is a very good song, and it is definitely lead single worthy. I think there was 3 singles for this, and I only remember 2, which was Troglodyte and Ain't No Thief. I think Punk Rock Loser might have been, which is the next song. Punk Rock Loser is an incredible song. Listen to Punk Rock Loser and watch the video. Please watch the video. You will not regret it. Actually, the link to the video will be down below. Please watch that video. It's fantastic. But Punk Rock Loser is this really, really cool track with some incredible bass. Really, really cool. And during the chorus, you've got these multiple singers singing all at once, along with Sebastian. It's really, really cool. And it's just awesome. And there's this dance also in the video that goes with the song that you definitely need to see. And the video definitely adds an extra layer to the song. And honestly, there's some of these, like, none of Sebastian Murphy's lyricism is one-dimensional. None of it. It is all really weird. But the thing is about, especially Punk Rock Loser, is that I felt like Punk Rock Loser was kind of about this thing that it's more talking about like being different is okay kind of thing originally, but now I've kind of grown to see it's way different to that. So it's really interesting track. Then you have Creepy Crawlers. This is like a spoken word, weird, freaky, creepy track. That is incredible and really, really cool. I'm using that word a lot for this album, incredible. But this is a fantastic track and has some really interesting lyrics, very political lyrics as well. But this song overall, I'm not too mad about. The lyricism I like, not so much the music. I mean, the music is good. It doesn't take away from the album at all. Just, I mean, it's... If it was an instrumental, I would not be into it, but the lyrics really bring it back up. And then you have the last song on this side, which is the Cognitive Trade-Off Hypothesis. And immediately my family turned to each other and said, that sounds like Damon Albarn during the chorus. Because of how high those notes are. It sounds incredible. But the Cognitive Trade-Off Hypothesis is a very much... It's a kind of this theoretical masterpiece, and I feel like if Sapiens, the book by Yuval Noah Harari, anybody who's read it, was turned into this political alternative musical album, this would be it. This is it. But the Cognitive Trade-Off Hypothesis really represents this well, I think. But then you move on to side B, which is Globe Earth, your interlude, but then you have Ain't No Thief. This is so funny because I was watching, if any of you guys are familiar with Anthony Fantano, if you're not, check out his channel. He's really, really cool. Or The Needle Drop. He does interviews, album reviews, track reviews, let's argue about music, vinyl updates as well. He's just a really cool guy altogether. But he actually interviewed Sebastian, and I got to watch that interview, and it was fantastic. But one thing that they mentioned was Ain't No Thief was originally about, and I thought Ain't No Thief is about a person who like is confused to be a thief constantly, and it just becomes an annoyance. But actually it's about a person being a thief and lying about it, and just being constantly, you dare insult me as being a thief. And I found that really funny, and it puts the song in a whole new life. But it feels like I always thought the synth in this is incredible. It's kind of, it feels like electronic rave music nearly, but the synth, but it's really, really interesting. And I have to say, I like Ain't No Thief a lot, and it was one of my favorite tracks on the album for a long time, but I've gotten used to all of them at this point, that they're just all the same, as in I love them all the same. And then you have Big Boy, which is just this beautiful mess masterpiece. Listen to Big Boy, it's just, it's amazing. But the thing about Big Boy is that it's nearly bad that it's good. I'm not saying it on a bad way. The music is fantastic. Sebastian's voice is a bit hard to get into. If you listen to the song, you'll get it. But this song is really, really good. It's one of my favorite on the track. The bass is fantastic in this. And one of them, again, this is where the guitar's mixed in the back. This acoustic guitar in it is really cool as well, because the bass is playing just regular notes, whereas the guitar is playing major power chords, which is incredible, and it merges really well, but it sounds really interesting. And then also you have Jason from the one and only Sleaford Mods, recently re-released an album, I think, Divide and Exit 10th anniversary edition. But Jason joins Sebastian on this track. It makes it like 10 times better. Like, not because Viagra Boys aren't cool, just because Jason is cool. Like, Viagra Boys are really cool, but Jason is up there with them. They're both as cool as each other, so to have them merge together just makes the song so much better. Not because one of them's better than the other, but just to see contemporary hip-hop sensation and a crazy alternative rock band come together to create a really weird alternative lo-fi rock song is quite mind-blowing. So I love it. Then you have ADD, which for a lot of people is their favourite track on the album. I've never been too mad about it. I like the song. Obviously, attention deficit disorder. Really, really cool lyrics. Kind of comedic at parts. And you've got this really cool bass throughout it. The bass on this album is really good. I think the drum, bass, and actually vocals and synth really drive this album. I'm not sure do the guitar and saxophone as much. Yeah, there is saxophone. In an alternative rock group, there was room for a saxophone. So if you see them live, you will definitely see that saxophone peeking out. So ADD is really cool. But I don't know. It's not my favourite, but it's a good song. Again, it doesn't take away from the album. I just prefer others. Human Error, again, an interlude. This is where we get to the spoken word masterpiece that is Return to Monkey. I may be pronouncing that wrong because there is no Y at the end of this monkey, so it could be Return to Monkey. Not sure. But Return to Monkey, or Monkey, is a really cool spoken word thing about going back to original times. The word will come to me in a sec. Prehistoric times nearly. That we're living in a prehistoric time. That it's actually quite ironic, where Sebastian's singing about people who abandon technology and are scared of the news and don't know what's happening around them and have conspiracy theories and run out into the woods. And you would think Sebastian is going, oh yeah, run to the woods, go, go, go. He's actually like going, don't run to the woods, there's no point. It's more kind of jesting these kind of people and joking about them. It's really funny. Peculiar funny. But this is a great song that ends on a very grim and sometimes comedic note with lyrics like, a new carpet was installed after, let's just say, an incident happens. But great album. Overall, And this is, by the way, I just want to let you guys know, if you want to buy this, Year 001 is the record label. This is a fantastic album. I like Cave World. It's just really, really cool. It's got some awesome artwork. It's an awesome album. It's one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life. It's clear you know my rating of 5 stars. And I'm so happy that I got this on vinyl. And I will try and collect all of the Viagra Boys albums. To have all the EPs, Call of the Wild, Common Sense, Consistency of Energy, and the 2 other studio albums that they have out at the moment, which are called Welfare Jazz and Streetworms. If you want to check those out, the deluxe edition for Cave World, the deluxe edition of Streetworms, the deluxe edition of Welfare Jazz, all of their singles, their live album, Shrimp Sessions, their sequel to that live album, Shrimp Sessions 2, all of the links to their YouTube, their Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, down below. Make sure to check it out. Check out Viagra Boys, an incredible band. Thank you, Joshua, for bringing this to me. And if any of the band members are watching, thank you, Viagra Boys, for gracing the world with this album. It needed it. It's incredible. It's really, really cool. So, before I go, just want to let you know, please subscribe. It really does help. If you liked, why not like? It goes such a long way. Have something to say? Listen to the album? Have an opinion? Let me know down below. Is there a friend who maybe is a fan of Viagra Boys? Let me know. Please, or share as well. And remember, if you do love music, if you love books, if you like alternative music, jazz, anything, subscribe, because I will be talking about tons of music. And follow me on social media too, because that's where I post about music that I'm listening to day to day, especially at the moment because I'm on summer holidays. Obviously, if you're watching this in the future, I'm back in school, but I will be posting a lot. So make sure to check that out as well, that you're not missing out, and turn those notifications on so that you never miss an episode, because I try and upload an album review every single week on Saturdays and Sundays. Make sure to check that out, guys, and I hope you, even if you didn't enjoy the review, have a lovely day. Goodbye, guys, and I'll see you next time.